Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, yeah, we're gonna need to grab something. All of my royalty, time to nibble, sip, and get petty because this is a Gray Sheep episode. I haven't done a Gray Sheep episode in a while. While writing my novels and my children's books and things, since I am literally putting some real life situations within kind of sewn and woven into the fiction, sometimes my mind and my heart and my emotions, yeah, sometimes I just can't handle it. So, but after I got some news over the phone today, and it's not the first time, but especially from the specific person. Ooh, it just got juicy, and it just proves my case even more with why I am doing the whole Gray Sheep Society. And there are some projects that I need to finish and everything. Like, yeah, I have too many ideas at the same time, but this relates to what I'm about to talk about. But when certain people tell you that if you go after your dreams or go after things that you feel like is your passion or that you're good at or that you enjoy, that you'd be kicked out the house, or they would change the keys or change the locks when you have to leave out of town for work, and etc., etc. And then well, let me just start. And ironic, the timing, because words mean a lot. A lot of people have so many different sayings, but the most popular American ones that are sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And I've said a lot of times that's a lie. It's an outright lie. And right now, a lot of people are bumping heads with the horrific, bigoted, awful, terrible words that you know who said year after year after year. And even some of the things that you know who said, I kept hearing it from my ex's family members, and sometimes even slight whispers from him. But I didn't know that because I knew of the you know who, but I didn't really like, especially watching the Young Turks and, well, yeah, I watched like the diff Rebel HQ and some, like, yeah, the let's just say the main portion of like the Young Turks. I'm just like, oh, they've kind of, yeah, they left a bad taste in my mouth. Yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, it wasn't like, sometimes I think they would mention him, but not often. So I didn't learn about how horrific you know who, who is until I think 2020 or 2021, something like that. That's when I was just like, oh, and all the pieces started coming together. But a lot of people are upset, especially at Black women, like with a lot of the hate that we already get and the stereotypes, and especially the words that he spread around to his community. And just like the orange guy, a lot of people say, like, even he says, like, the more you say it, the more you lie, the more they'll think it's true. As long as you keep repeating the lie, they will think it's true. So when you know who kept saying that Black women aren't smart, and even he had that one receptionist example about she's awful or whatever. Did she get the job because she's good or because she's Black? And then it's like giving the examples of Mrs. Obama and all of these great American or African American women, and how they're dumb, or they're not capable, or they even say the only reason they got what they got was because of affirmative action. Well, one little, like I said, oh, if he needed to debate Yeah, it's like he would never debate older, more mature African Americans that know our history, that know our facts, that are more prepared and equipped. And or we that's one reason they're trying to erase our history in the classroom, because one reason that he won was because of the way they teach about non-white people in the classroom. Hardly, or just enough where they can say, we taught it, we covered it. One reason why, like, even my senior year in American history class, our teacher made sure not to cover segregation and desegregation. She made sure not to cover, like, especially the 50s and 60s and things, even Jim Crow. But the less you teach people, the easier it is to defeat them. The more uneducated they are, the easier it is to defeat them. And that's why with slavery, and that's why with so much of history, the white people made sure to try to make sure we were not educated. They did not allow for us to read. They did not allow us to go to college. So many ways they tried to make sure that we were going to be as poorly educated as possible. And that's why the orange guy says he loves the poorly educated, because that's how he got them, because they are poorly educated. And some research has shown that, look, comparing Republicans to Democrats, and I've even showed you videos where Republicans will even say, all of my friends that went to college vote Democrat, and then they mock them and tease them, or they're like, oh my gosh, you're so disgusting, they vote, it's like they're all Democrats when you get to college. That's why I'm making sure to never go to college. mm, it's amusing. It's amusing. But the power of their words, the power of their lies, the power of their puzzle shifting, manipulative statements are the reason why my ex's mom would proudly tell me how there's no more racism. That's what Candace Owens said. Oh, you're making that up. I don't believe you. Racism doesn't exist. And that, like, she did mention, you know whose name once, and I know the oldest brother of the group, he listens to them too, because while he was trying to debate me, he mentioned his name a couple times. And I don't know, it's just, I'm gonna do so many episodes about the power of language and the power of words, because that is how they were able to gain so many people, especially with YouTube and TikTok and social media, because it's the power of words. It doesn't have to be true, and everyone has access to it, and everyone has access to put their opinions on there, their so-called research, and they're able to create a group and a community easily, especially if that community needs someone else to blame, if that community needs someone else to just be like, I dropped out of college, but it was because of women, or black women. Black women took my spot, even though I made it in college and I didn't finish, but it's their fault. Yeah. It's like, see, I started my own business. I'm like, even though it was based off hate. And you know what? Yeah, this is going to be a two-parter, because, yeah, I need to kind of continue on this one. But there's one, like, I know so much about the power of words because it ruined part of my life. And you can't get that back. You can't get your years back. You can't go back in time, at least not of 2025, unless they're keeping a little secret. But it's just the power of language and words, and how you can, some are able to manipulate and some are able to create their own truth from it to the point where you can make a hero out of an enemy. Because even remember during the orange guy's first term, all of his half truths that, and then he got that to trend, and then even make America great again. But whenever women and black people ask, when was America great? And then you hear MAGA, they say during the 50s and 60s. Oh, so during segregation, when women had to stay home and they couldn't get a bank account on their own, when they hardly had any freedoms. It's like, and some would even say before that, before black people could vote, but we have to remember, you know who said that the Civil Rights Act should never have been passed. The power of that phrase, the power of that word. And now, like Project 2025 is a book of powerful words that they are enacting. And I keep saying, like, people don't like when I say this, but black women told you. We told you, and we warned you about that book of words. We told you that the orange guy was behind this, or his name is all over it, and he is trying to enact. And what is he doing? Exactly what we said. The power of those words is changing the whole platform of our country. It's taking so many rights away from this country. But you have to, like, and it's with those words, and it's really funny because now they're trying to take away our rights or take away certain rights, especially from women. And especially now, like, the racism is coming back because of words, because of stereotypes, because of so-called, they're not really, they're these facts are falsehoods. These facts are made up because when they keep saying how violent they are, and then they want to take over cities, or especially blue cities, when, or in states. But then they don't, like, every time you ask them about more violent red states, oh no, those words, they want you to be quiet with those words. How dare you with those words? And then they want to keep saying that liberals are more violent, but when you look, then you give them, see, they don't want to go by facts. See, and this is why a lot of liberals are college educated or higher educated, they like trade or whatever. But because we know to do the research, we know to actually get the facts. And they want to get all of their information and so-called facts from the Bible, but oh, that only gets you so, because, like, they want to take away the power of medicine. And how does that go with words? It's like, with that is research. With that is the power of the mind. With that is trusting the medical field and the doctors. And I've shown you guys or I've done an episode with Dr. George Cirilli and how he treated me and the words he told me. The words he told, like, and the thing is, I have had so many evil, awful, terrible words told to me by doctors. I have had doctors tell me to my face, you are making it up. You're walking like that because you want attention. You're walking like that because you're a liar. You're a liar. See, and how would you feel if you had over 30 years of that in your head? And then when you're a child, over and over again, and to your parents, they tell your parents, she's a liar. She's making it up. She just wants to walk like that. She wants attention. And one doctor is like, because yeah, this always links up the Christian with the healthcare. But when your doctor asks your mom, are you a Christian? Don't you know in the Bible it says to spank? Because the Bible is full of words. Yeah, you didn't think I was gonna link that together, but yeah, the Bible is full of words, and a lot of society, a lot of MAGA wants to go by what's in the Bible, but then they don't want to go by what's in the research. They don't want to study. They can't look outside the Bible because if they do, they feel like it's a sin. But because they did not do their research, I had years of ABUSE, year after year after year. I was more acquainted with that belt than I was with my parents. I knew that belt more than I knew of almost anything else. Because if I made a mistake and tripped over myself, or if I touched the walls too often, or if I wore out my shoes too often because of my disability, it was time to get the belt or time to clean around the house until I was exhausted. It's like, or I would have to go up and down the stairs a certain amount of times. It's like, or, yeah, I mean, there's like, now that I'm remembering, there are so many different types of punishments because of the word. Some people want to almost worship you know who because of his so called faith within the words within that book, but he used that book to promote hate. Words are powerful. And when he had the nerve to say so many awful things about women and black women, especially black women, especially black people, some black men are trying to give him the, oh, it's okay. Nah, skip that. And some people want to say, oh, you only got into college because you're black. Huh. I finished my bachelor's with a double minor, went back and got my master's, went back and got my MBA. So don't you dare, like, and you know what? It's like, and there's been a few times where I'm like, you know what? Even if that is the case, even if it is, I finished each and every time. And most of the white men that hate on me, they got in, but then they escorted their way out. So you can't blame me. You got in. You like, cause yeah, my ex, Mr. No Heart, he got in. And I've said it. I hope that one day maybe he takes online classes or maybe he could take night classes and finish. I've tried to be his cheerleader. I broke up with him for so many reasons, but one reason was because he hated me so much because I was I'm bullheaded and stubborn. If I'm going to say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And because especially the words that I got from my family, that's going to be part 2. And the horrific, awful, terrible things that I got from the doctors, because it all started from the doctors. Doctors kept blaming me with their words, telling me, oh, Dr. George Cirilli was like, go home and lose weight. I will never forget that day. I will never forget those words. My leg was screaming. My leg was in so much pain. I still have phantom pain till this day because of his words and because he ignored me and because he refused to even ask me more questions, not even tests. He decided not to even ask me more questions. He acted like, oh, she must be lying. No one can be in that much pain, or she's just trying to get, because a lot of these doctors, they always think black people, especially black women, are making up their pain. And because they think that, oh, we must be addicted or something or whatever. Honey, I like doing things the natural way. It's like you might be learning something new about me today. I've mentioned before, but I'm part Native American. It's like I like, and oh, I'm like, I'm want to do the DNA test, but my grandmother was. If you saw her, full blown Native American, full blood, full like all Native American. So I'm a pretty high amount. I'm a pretty high percentage. So if you know, you know. But I love doing things the natural way. It's like if you even saw like some of the, like I even buy and consume like edible flowers for different things. And because I like to make soups and stuff with them, and different, because I'm looking up different recipes. And yeah, it's like, do all my family members? No. It's like sometimes I separate my portion from my dad's, but it's like I don't like medicine. I don't, or unless it's needed. I only take, like, it's not okay. I want to make sure I say this correctly, but I like the power of the research that will help us heal us when necessary. But I also like nature and how nature helps me stay as healthy as possible so that the medication is only when absolutely needed. And oh, and I'm vaccinated. Don't get that twisted. Yeah, I stay vaccinated because, just like driving, it's not me that I'm worried about. It's some of these people out here I'm worried about. Because some of these people, they don't care if I live or dot, dot, dot. They don't care. So I got to take care of myself. I got to take responsibility for myself. And like with a lot of these doctors, they didn't care. And their words showed it. Oh, yeah, once I get all of my medical information or whatever, I've got stories and names for you. Because speaking of, like, yeah, back to the racism and the hatred and words and everything like that, when I had to have one of my first MRIs when the pain was getting so badly, I will never forget that my disability was becoming more apparent. And I had no idea. I wasn't diagnosed yet. I wasn't diagnosed for another 2.5, 3 years. But it's like doctors kept blaming me. And when I went to get the MRI, I couldn't control it. I didn't, like, something was happening. And I think one reason was I was so emotional because this is right. I had this like months after my mom died. And so, in a being in an MRI machine, it's almost like being in a casket. And so I was emotional. And with my disability, like the emotions can trigger. And so, I guess I wasn't still enough, like one or two of the times, and the doctor blamed me, and I will never forget his words because he was like, it's your fault that we have to, that you still have to be in there. It's your fault that I have to do this again. And he just kept, and he was doing this for like 2 to 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, because it was that because he took a break or whatever. I thought he was done, and then he would start again, blaming me, saying it was my fault, and I'm about to cry, and I'm emotional because I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my body. I am scared. I don't know, but no, it's like no one would help me. It's like, please, like, someone tell me what is wrong with me. And so one of the other person in the office did something to help me so that I can finish, because it's like, trust me, I want to be out of that machine more than ever. I felt like I was in a casket. And so feeling like I was in a casket got me emotional because I kept thinking of my mother. And about one of the only things that helped me get through was thinking about Disney songs and movies. That helped me, and yeah, that helped me get through. And so, I don't know, sometimes, like, when I bring up Disney examples in my college classes or whatever, it's like people don't know. It's like Disney's been like a superhero to me in a lot of ways because they helped me during some of the most darkest days. And with some of the words in their lyrics, words are powerful, lyrics are powerful. They've helped me in so many ways, so many amazing ways. Because when that jerk, he just kept saying, it's your fault, it's your fault. And I'm like, I don't know what is going on. And hardly, like, all the doctors refused to listen to me. They refused to pay me any attention, or other than blaming me, some laughing at me. Dr. Biondo, oh, remember when you laughed at me and you told me just go home and walk it off? And then you kept saying, oh, well, I'm so popular, I'm such a great doctor. It's a 6 month wait. Turned out being literally almost a year wait, a year wait. But at that year point, I could not walk anymore. And so when that receptionist called me, guess what time it is? We're going to set up your appointment. It's going to be within the next 2 to 3 months. Aren't you excited? No, I'm not able to make the appointment. What are you talking about? Yeah, you need to have this appointment. You have to. I can't walk. I can't. What do you can walk. I was like, it's not going to be that. I literally can't walk. And I remember almost breaking down in tears. And I'm like, okay, ma'am, have a good day. I can't. Then she called me back. Yeah, because I hung up on her. And she kept telling me, you need to make this appointment. Could just come on in. And she didn't know that I was setting the date and time for my surgery. And I was already seeing other doctors and specialists that were and getting x-rays and more MRIs. I think I had 2 or 3 or 4 MRIs by this point. I had a lot of MRIs. But yeah, she was like, "Oh, well, it's not that bad." And I broke down in tears and I hung up again. The third time, oh yeah, but my perfect sister, my amazing sister, she heard that. So when she called again, she came in the room. She was like, give me. And I handed her the phone. Oh, my sister tore her up. And it's like, I was in so much pain, but I clapped. Like while she was saying, she clapped. And I remember she just started laughing. I was like, get her, tell her, yep. Don't, yep, oh, don't forget this. And yeah, so words are powerful because my sister, like, because no one was listening to me. No one was like, because I that's one reason I'm getting all my doctor details, because I think somewhere one of my terrible, awful, disgusting, bigoted doctors, I think she put in there that I was a liar or something, because no one would ever believe me. No one ever wanted to test me or examine me in any other way. It wasn't until my sister was yelling at this woman that finally that doctor was like, okay, we may need to do more tests. And that's how I was diagnosed. So, and that's one reason words matter. And in my medical reports, those words, they destroyed my life. Whatever those doctors wrote, like, just made my life basically a living hell, almost literally. They like everyone blaming me, telling me I'm a liar. The words they told, yeah. But now what? Now I'm being punished for them disrespecting and ignoring me or blaming me or telling me that it's my fault. So now I have to figure out how to live my life. I have to figure out how to get better. And I have to continue figuring everything else out, and it's exhausting. Absolute exhausting, because the words that they said were not based off of research. They weren't based off of facts or information. It was based off of their bigotry, their mindset of, I'm always right. I see nothing wrong. You look a certain way and I am judging you. Based off of that mindset, it kept me trapped in the dark of unknowing. But because of that phone call, it allowed, because today, actually, I remember that the box and the kit, and I like, because I've been through so many tests, but I got the test that diagnosed me right around this time. Right, because I remember I thought of it as a present because it came right around this time. And I'll never forget. I will never forget. So, words are powerful. I'm going to have a part two because, ooh, my family. Ooh, my family. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.